Starting a completely new concept by ourselves is a cumbersome process, and also it ends up in getting nothing. So to get you off the same, SQR3 may help. Namaste everyone, this is Abhinandan Patidar, first year MBBS student at MGM Medical College Indore, and in this video we are going to talk about a study technique called as the SQR3 study technique. So let us first talk about what this SQR3 actually means. So S here stands for survey, Q stands for question, and since there are 3 R's, the first R here stands for read, second R for recite, and the third R stands for review. So let us quickly get into the details of all of them. So normally what we tend to do when we are starting a fresh new chapter or a concept, so we simply start reading. Now that's where the survey comes into effect. So survey, as the name suggests, is getting a broad overview of the chapter or the concept that we are studying. More precisely, if we talk about it, it is writing the broad headings and subheadings of the chapter before we start it, or simply having a flow chart of the whole chapter or the concept that we are going to study. Now what this will do is, it will actually let us know that what actually we are going to study in the chapter, thereby making it a bit simpler. And since we have the flow chart of whole chapter or the concept in front of our eyes, we can plan the time to complete whole chapter much efficiently. Now what can prevent you from adopting this technique is the thought that this survey is a technique is a sheer wastage of time which we could otherwise utilize for a study purpose. And frankly speaking, I had the same thought too, but practically it is not like that, because the time, instead of being wasted, is invested. Because once we have the flow chart or the blueprint or the skeleton of the whole chapter in front of our eyes, its planning becomes a lot more easier. And if the planning is better, then definitely the overall time that will take to finish this task will be reduced. Now how I adopted this technique. So as I mentioned earlier, before starting a particular chapter or a concept, I make flow chart of the broad headings and subheadings, and as I finish a particular heading or subheading, then I put a tick mark in front of it, right? And it gives immense pleasure. Now one more thing that draws our attention here is that now my target or my focus is not to finish the whole bulky chapter, but a heading or a subheading under that. Now it becomes a lot more easier for me to convince myself to study that a particular heading than the whole chapter. So in this way my focus also remains intact. So our first step, that is the survey, is completed. Now we have the broad heading and subheadings in our mind, and we know what actually we are going to study in this chapter. Now the next step is questions. Now frame questions out of the headings of the flowchart that we have made. Now, or better, I would better say that don't just treat these headings as headings, but treat them as questions, or if they are in the heading form, then convert them into the question form. For example, we are studying the interior compartment of thigh, and it has a heading called as femoral nerve. So instead of treating this heading as femoral nerve, convert it into question. For example, write it, what is femoral nerve, what are its course, origin, termination, etc. So treat this, convert this heading to the question form. Now what it will do is, so this will, now when you are reading the chapter after this survey and after framing questions, when you are reading the chapter, you are not merely reading the chapter, but you are with a quest to seek the answers which you framed earlier. So in this way you will not only get the text better, but also it will strengthen your learning. Now as what I did, so as I mentioned, after having my survey complete, I framed questions out of the headings, and also I framed questions parallelly while studying, because the questions from the headings only covers the broad type questions or long questions, and the minor questions or the minor details which are to be included in the form of questions are left, which we can only do while reading the text. So in this way our question step gets over. Now let us move forward on to our next step, the next step is reading, and it's not a step to explain about, because this is the step which, if we are not knowing this SQR3 techniques, so this is the step which we would have started from. But after knowing this survey and question techniques, we will read after having our survey done and after having our questions done. So now this is not a step to explain about, definitely. So now we are not simply reading, we are seeking the answers. We are seeking the answers of the questions that we have framed earlier. We are not randomly reading the text, but we are seeking the answers. Now after the completion of the survey and questions, when we are reading this text or the concept, anything, the process becomes much keen. We have keenness to extract out answers from the text. So this will also give us a feeling of learn by fun, and this process will actually give us the realization of the importance of the earlier two steps that we performed or that we had. So now comes our next step, and that is recite. And this is also not a step to explain about, because we all of us do this, or all of us have done this at some time or the other. After studying a particular text, when we have started, we have learned, we have got whatever was written in the text, we look upward and then we try to recite that, okay, this was this. So we do recitation of what we have learned without looking into the text. So this is an obvious process and most of us do. But more than just recitation, what we can adopt is the Feynman's technique. Now what this Feynman stuff is. So Feynman's technique is reading the text or reading the concept or reading the chapter in such a way that we have to explain it to someone else. Now when we will study in this way, that we have to explain it to someone, we will establish interconnections between what we know, because definitely for learning, the basis of learning is interconnections between what we are learning and what we already know about the topic. So when we have to explain this thing to someone else, it will develop a lot more interconnections, and these interconnections are the path for retrieving this particular information later when we need it. So more interconnections means more path for retrieval of the particular thing, and more path of retrieval means it becomes a lot more easier for us to recall the thing. Now another benefit of Feynman's technique is that it will reveal us, or it will expose our doubts out, which otherwise we convince ourselves that no, we have no doubt in this particular thing, it's okay. But when we have to explain it to someone, it will expose our doubts, and it will be better if we attempt to explain this thing to a person who know very little about this thing. For example, me trying to explain anatomy to my sister in 8th standard or say 9th standard. So I have to establish for this thing to happen, I have to establish a lot more interconnections between what I know and what I am to explain to her. So in this way there will be many more connections, many more interconnections. Many more interconnections means many more paths, and many more paths means very strong learning. So in this way, this Feynman technique will help us, will expose our doubts, and also will help us to establish links between the subjects, link between what we already know and what we are learning. So this was all about the recite. We left recite aside and we went on discussing this Feynman technique, but okay. So now let's put it to a halt and let us move on to our next step, that is review. So the last step is, or the third R of the 3 R's is review. So what is review? Review the chapter. Look for the questions that are left unanswered. relate this particular topic or particular heading you are studying to the chapter as a whole. For example, we are studying and relate that chapter to the subject that we are studying. For example, if I am studying femoral artery, then definitely in which chapter it is. So it is an anterior compartment of the thigh. Now what is its relation to the name of the chapter? So definitely, okay, anterior compartment of thigh we are studying, and we have femoral nerve inside it. So definitely femoral nerve is a part of anterior compartment of thigh. Now establish its relation with anatomy, that why this particular chapter is under anatomy and why this femoral artery is under the anterior compartment. So this will, you will be able to relate the whole thing with each other. So this will give you a broad perspective of the chapter, because this is particularly important, because once we start anything, we forget that where we started from. We start digging deeper, and we forget that where we started from. So this will help us to relate each and everything and at each and every level, and will give a broad perspective of the chapter. So this was about the review. So we have completed the SQR3 technique, that was the survey question, read, review and recite. Now there's one thing that is worth discussing here, is that definitely before starting anything we have doubts whether it will work or not. In this particular case we have doubts that definitely we feel that the survey will consume time, framing questions and writing them or typing them will also consume time, and definitely we will face them because they are obvious. But I would just say that by doing this, if you personally or if you practically follow this technique, the planning will be better, will be more focused, and when we have the flow chart of the chapter in front of our eyes, practically or personally I have observed that it becomes a lot more easier for us to approach it, because for this chapter being bulky, we tend to leave it. By great hard work we were determined to start this chapter, and looking at its length or looking at the amount of data in it, we tend to lose our focus and we leave it aside. But when we have flow chart in front of our eyes, it becomes a lot more easier for us to approach that thing. So this was all. You should give it a try, and definitely it will worth adopting it. So this was all about this video, and if you liked it, then do hit the like button, and for any reasons if you dislike this video, then please mention the reason in the comment sections, and also mention your valuable feedbacks in the comment sections too. Dhanyawad.